A man was walking in the woods one day when he saw a bear out of the corner of his eye. He stopped, said a silent prayer. God, I know you can do all things. Will you please make this bear a fellow Christian? The bear caught up to the man, placed his paw on the man's shoulder, and said, Brother, will you pray with me? Dear God, for this meal that I am about to receive, make me truly thankful. This is The Christian Bear with Dr. Ben Hillscamp. Welcome to episode 19 of The Christian Bear. I'm your host, Dr. Ben Hillscamp. On this episode of The Christian Bear, we're going to continue our series on belief, specifically focusing on the idea that there are many paths to God, that there are many ways of accessing the divine. I was born into a Roman Catholic Christian family. My father is a Credo Catholic from a family that very well may have been converted by St. Boniface. My mother was raised Methodist and American Baptist. My sister and I grew up attending 13 years of Catholic education, where we learned about the Bible, we learned about Catholic doctrine and dogma, where we learned what Christian values meant, and not the Christian values that are espoused by many today, but Christian values where Christian truly means to be Christ-like, to model one's life after the mission and ministry of Jesus Christ. I follow in the tradition of Bishop John Philip Sprong, who once said that he honored his own tradition, his own Christianity, yet he saw truth in the path and the beliefs of many others. I too honor my own Christian background, my own Christian faith, yet I see just as much truth in the faith and the religious identity of my Jewish, Hindu, Muslim, Buddhist, Taoist, Confucianist, Shinto, Zoroastrians, Benai, and other of my siblings in faith. I do not believe that Christianity is the one way to the divine. Though I do admit that my own universalist Christianity says that Jesus, or at least Jesus' death on the cross, is a way to salvation for all people. Though for anyone who's listened to most or all of the episodes of The Christian Bear so far, know that I struggle deeply with the idea of the atonement, of Jesus dying for the sins, or for some sort of sin, or some sort of original sin of humanity. Yet I confess that I still struggle with Jesus' own words in the Gospels, saying that he is, quote, the way, the truth, and the life, and that no one goes to the Father except through him. I admit that that is a line, that is a belief, that is a thought, that is so deeply ingrained in my own religious experience that I struggle to put it aside, even while admitting, even while holding, even while confessing a faith that says that there are many paths to the divine. I imagine, like many of you, this is still a sticking point for me. This is still a point that makes me stumble in my own belief. How do I reconcile the exact words of Jesus Christ, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no one goes to the Father except through me, with my own belief, my own conviction, the revelation that I have experienced in my own life of God speaking to me and to humanity, that there are many ways of reaching God? How do I reconcile these two beliefs? Unfortunately, I don't have a good answer to that question. I can only say for me that it is something that I continue to wrestle with. It is something that I don't have an easy answer for. It is one of those last sticking points of my conservative, of my traditional Christian background that I struggle to cast off, that I struggle to deconstruct or reconstruct. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one goes to the Father except through me. At one time, that brought me great comfort, knowing that as a Christian, I followed the way, the truth, the life, that I followed on the path that uniquely led to God the Father. Yet I will not, continue to hold a belief that would exclude my siblings of faith from attaining heaven, from reaching the very center that is God, simply because they did not believe in Jesus Christ. Simply because they were born into a different faith, they held a different faith made sense to them. Simply because no faith made sense to them. Simply because their personal convictions, as revealed to them through their life and through their experiences, might not include religion, might include ethical frameworks that were not inherently rooted in religion. See, my friends, I find as much truth in my own Christian path as I do in the paths of my Jewish and Buddhist and Hindu and Taoist and Shinto and Muslim and pagan and Wiccan and atheist and agnostic and humanist siblings as I do in the beliefs and deeply held convictions of my Christian siblings. Indeed, I would center my own faith, I would position my own faith at the intersection of Christianity, of folk religion, and of belief systems which have been characterized as neo-pagan or Wiccan. If you came to this episode hoping for some wise advice about how to believe that there are many paths to God, about how to believe that not just the religion or the faith or the tradition that you were born into, that you were raised in, that you were steeped in, that you have studied your entire life, how you might go beyond that and reach some place that I had allegedly reached, I'm sorry to let you down. Instead, I can only say that for me, there is little conflict in my mind anymore. There is little doubt that there are not, in fact, many ways to God. And I believe there is a better chance that God will look at us in some either judgment day or welcoming to heaven and say, "Well done, good and faithful servant, for believing that you and your siblings, regardless of your faith, regardless of your denomination, regardless of your religion, can stand here with me in this glorious place. May it be so, and blessed be." This has been The Christian Bear with Dr. Ben Hillscamp.